Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Lechtei Chumusa podcast. We continue with day 30 of Hachzik. We are on page 77 in the Art Scroll. We're talking about the zchus that one has of v'machzik loim de Torah, Talmidai Chachamim, and the chiyuv, the zchus that everyone has to be machzik Talmidai Chachamim is available for them. But achas kam v'kam, as we spoke about yesterday, how much more so is the zchus for those that are in close network, family members of the Talmid Chacham. And now the Pele Yoeitz is going to point out one of the potential pitfalls that one must be sure to avoid. When a person is supporting a Talmid Chacham, it can happen that he thinks, he's above, he's the one cutting the check, he's the gvir, and he can feel very good about himself. And then suddenly the kavod that he's supposed to have, that he has to have with the Talmid Chacham, can get diminished, it can get diluted, because he feels that I'm on top and he's below. Says the Pele Yoeitz, he says, chas v'shalom, to one who his revere and fondness for the Talmid Chacham, his kavod, gets notched down, diminishes. Chas v'shalom, in other words. And the supporter, the benefactor, the giver, the noisin, he thinks he's the giver. Says the Pele Yoeitz, is a big mistake. Don't be machzik tova for yourself. Don't think that you are exceptional and you're great and you're the giver because you're being mefarnes him. Because the funds needed to sustain this Talmid Chacham have actually been placed by Hashem among His possessions. It's all from the Eibishter. And this is a very important reminder for anyone who is giving money. Hashem gave you the money as a pikadon, as a deposit, but not to think for one moment that it's your money and you're deciding to support this Talmid Chacham. Hashem gave you the money. He gave you the right choice, the right machshavas, the right perspective that you should support the Talmid Chacham. And you shouldn't think for 1 second that you're above and he's below. And a person should feel, when he's supporting a Talmid Chacham, that he is merely a shliach of a Kadosh Baruch Hu, a messenger of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. That's it. These words are, he is merely acting as an agent of Hashem who entrusted him with the funds of the Talmid Chacham, so he can act as a conduit to convey the necessary support. And not only this, but the true perspective one must have when they're supporting Torah is quite the opposite. That what? The poor man, not the poor man, but in some cases where the Talmid Chacham is the poor man, he is the noisin, he's giving, he's fueling, he's energizing chiyas into the gvir, into the giver, into the noisin. He's giving him that opportunity. And when we're seeing in the Pele Yoeitz, based on all the svarim, again, more than the usher is doing for the ani, for the Talmid Chacham, he's calling it, the ani is doing for the usher, because he's giving him the schus, the opportunity to be oisik in tzedakah, to be oisik in support of the greatest possible mitzvah, Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam. Because of this Talmid Chacham, one merits an oilam shekulei tov, referring to oilam haba. As the pasuk says in Rus, the name of the man by whom I worked today is Boaz. With this attitude, with this perspective, one should realize there's no reason to feel differently about a Talmid Chacham who he supports, and he will continue to be vigilant with his honor. And not only will he continue to be vigilant in his honor, but he'll realize that really he's the only one to honor. He's the Talmid Chacham, and it's a schus to give him the money because, as we said, it's because of the Talmid Chacham that he's going to be zeiche to a world that's completely good, referring to Olam Haba. And Yoiser mimasha oisa asher ma'ani, more that the asher that the rich person is doing for the Talmid Chacham, oise ha'ani ma'asher. Really, in reality, in the world of Melech Haaretz Kavod, in the world of Umal Haaretz Deah, the Talmid Chacham is doing way more for the usher than the usher is doing for the Talmid Chacham. On this point over here, the Pele Yoeitz is telling us that the usher, the noisin, the giver, has to realize that it's his chus, and that they're really equal, if not, that the Talmid Chacham is even greater. And he has to realize that he's just doing shlichusa, the Rachmanu the Avid, he's just doing shlichus by giving the Talmid Chacham money. I once heard on the Bitachon hotline an incredible maisa. There was once a shadchan who worked out all the details for a shidduch. She spent time, hours, resources, and didn't end up panning out. A couple months, maybe it was a couple years later, it was revealed to the shadchan that this shidduch that she worked on, the names were verified, it was her, that she worked in it years prior. Mazel tov, they're engaged, they're getting married. Someone came, a family member who knew, said, weren't you involved in the shidduch? Wasn't this your idea? You must feel terrible about this. And the shadchan, spot on, said exactly what had to be said. She said, imagine you have a mailman that comes to the mailbox. Do you come every day, every morning? Yes, you should come and greet them and give them a smile. But do you say thank you so much for all the hard work and it's incredible what you do? Or do you just recognize and realize that yes, as great as the mailman is and as much as you need the mail, but at the end of the day, he's merely just depositing mail in your mailbox? And the person said yes. And the shadchan said, why is that? And the person said, because they're just doing their job. They're a mailman, they're paid, this is what they're meant to do. Deposit the mail in the mailbox, close it, and move on to the next house. Continue driving the truck. Said the shadchan, I'm absolutely no different. I'm a mailman, I try my best, Hashem gives me ideas, Hashem gives me names, Hashem gives me a phone to make some calls, and I'm going to try my best. But more than that I should cry, that I should be in pain, I should become petty if I deliver the shidduch, if someone else delivers the shidduch. How little, how trivial, how small would I be if I get caught up in those details? HaKadosh Baruch Hu is sending messages, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is orchestrating everything. And if I were to get upset that someone stole, quote unquote, the shidduch from me, I would be a small person. I would need to work on myself for being so petty. Katnus, kina, gaiva. That's true bitachon. That's true realization that we're all messengers, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has everything preordained, predestined, mapped out, locked in. And if I'm meant to pan it out, I'll do it. If someone else is meant to, they'll do it. If I thought I will, and they do it, they're not stealing, it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I'll get the credit somehow or another. Maybe not the way I want it, maybe not the way I perceived it, maybe not the way I thought I planned it out. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu has everything accounted for. And says the Pele Yoeitz, it's the same thing over here. It's for bitachon, it's for supporting Talmidai Chachamim, it's for everything. But when a poor person, when a Talmid Chacham is being supported, and the Gevir could start thinking, oh, look at me, I'm the one cutting the check, I'm the one supporting. Says the Pele Yoeitz, remember, buddy, Ushichusa de Rachmanu Da'avid, you are merely acting as an agent of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu entrusted with funds to support the Talmid Chacham, but you're not more than that. And for you to think 1 second that you're better, that you're above, that is an absolutely flawed, erroneous perspective. And as the Pele Yoeitz puts it out over here, not only that, not only are you wrong for thinking that he's below you, but he says he's even more than you. The Ani is doing more. The Talmid Chacham is doing more for you because he's giving you Olam Haba. That carries out to Talmud Torah, that carries out to Bitachon, Shidduchim, whatever it is that we're doing. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has it all worked out, mapped out, locked in, and we can't do anything to change it. And sometimes the kavod, the pras, the reward that we're waiting for may not come out the way we want it, but it will come out because HaKadosh Baruch Hu has it all orchestrated, all gecheshbon, all accounted for. Nothing goes under his supervision, and we'll get it at some point or another, but that's not the point. The point is that we're all shluchim, the Rachmana, who the Avid. We're all doing HaKadosh Baruch Hu's messenger work. Moving on. Says the Pele Yoeitz, it's not a one-way street, that the supporters should just realize the greatness of the Talmid Chacham. The Talmid Chacham also has to reciprocate and be careful and respect those that are supporting him. Shem Amura Kiva. And if you can, find those person can be a kafay toiv, or Bekiva was mechabed hashirim. With a chab them ktsas v'shoich ktsas alem lemeber lehu niach rucha. Go out of your way and please them if you can. V'chibei seiri heinodas lehem v'lamdu aleim es haderech hilchu ba es hamaisa sheyasun. And the Talmid Chacham should develop a uniquely close relationship with them and use the opportunity to teach them the proper path in which they should go. Help them, prod them along the derech of Torah and Avodah. B'noim siach u'l'shen chibas. Through pleasant conversation and affectionate expression, and he should take on the brunt of companionship, and when troubles afflict them, he should commiserate with them and daven for them, and he should always be davening for them, for these charitable individuals that are supporting his Torah endeavors. And anything he's doing, he's learning, he's davening, he's doing extra chasadim, whatever it is that he's able to do because he's in this line of avodah, he should have these benefactors, the people that are supporting him, in mind as well. And he should do whatever he can, as the pasuk says, a wise man may hear and increase his knowledge. And this means, in this regard also, a Talmid Chacham should do whatever he can, find those ways, find those avenues, those opportunities to be mechabed, to honor, to sustain the supporters as well, and show that he cares, and work on that unique companionship with them, because it's a two-way street. And as much as the ashirim, as much as the supporters have to be mechabed him and realize that he's really giving them the opportunity, but he also has to go out of his way to be mechabed them, to daven for them, to learn with them, to guide them on the derech Torah avodah, and with that way it could be a beautiful unity of Torah avodah and the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants it.